Well, moving on now, when it comes to Nebraska, water and water quality are often big concerns for producers and residents.
For those who have wells, maybe even more so. So joining us now with more on this is Becky Sherman with Nebraska Extension. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me and welcoming so nicely.
You bet.
Yeah. So we want to talk about some of the water issues that have been making headlines lately, namely flooding.
Yes.
So do weather events like those have a big impact on wells in the state?
Yes, they do. Flooding and just runoff in general do have impacts on private wells. And so, and of course, this week we had areas of the state that were getting over 3 inches of rain. I know we're south of Lincoln, we had just around 2 inches or so. And so people want to make sure that their wellheads are inspected every year, take a look for anything that might be broken, a cap that's loose or not on properly. Want to make sure that the ground around their wells is mounded and going away from the well, and that wellhead is at least 12 inches above ground. Sometimes that can really play a role in if we have some standing water from runoff or flooding that's not terribly deep. We know that that wellhead is being up high enough that it's not going to be impacted. So,
I know nitrates are kind of a concern in rural wells too. Is you know, with flooding or nitrates, what do people do to kind of make sure their wells are okay?
Right. Well, for nitrate, typically, I mean, typically nitrates are already in our groundwater, unfortunately, and it's just, you know, throughout the past 50, 60 years of practices, both urban and agriculture, that nitrate ended up in our groundwater, and so, but what we really worry about, like with flooding and stuff, is the bacteriological. Both, you know, anything from, especially if it's a huge flooding situation, where we have septic systems, so we have human waste as well as animal waste. We have fuel and chemicals and stuff that just get mixed into our water, and it does impact wells, particularly wells that were built before or constructed before 1986, before we had well construction standards in the state. Those are the ones that we really worry about. Wells that might not have a watertight casing, as well as a watertight sealed cap on top. So,
Let's say somebody thinks they may have contamination. Where can they go for help?
They can look at, we have numerous different NEB guides with Extension, as well as disaster.unl.edu, and then water.unl.edu. That go over well contaminants and such. If they need to have their water tested, such as after a flooding event with bacteriological particularly, they can contact the state laboratory in Lincoln or another accredited laboratory in the state. And on the state lab site, they do have the accredited drinking water labs across the state.
Okay, good.
Good to know, Becky. Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. All right.